In a career marked more by expectation than celebration, Leonard Fournette announced just a few minutes ago that he will not risk injury and participate in LSU's matchup against Louisville in the Buffalo Wild Wings Citrus Bowl. This comes as no surprise, and we're going to see this more and more as we continue in college football, and the bowl season becomes kind of a freak show, kind of just a unique situation unto itself in college football, different than any other sport on any other level, because there's not a true playoff system, and because we have postseason play in which we have exhibition games. This is going to be the motivation of a lot of individuals, and it's very understandable. Leonard Fournette, the numbers are staggering over the course of his career, but of course 2016 for both himself and his team, very disappointing. The numbers still great. Ran for over 1,000 yards, even though we missed now what will be 6 full games and parts of other games. And even when he stepped onto the field for the first time at Lambeau Field against the Wisconsin Badgers, he just really was never quite himself. He suffered the ankle injury early in the game against Wisconsin. He hobbled throughout the season, and he still was great. He was still Leonard Fournette for much of the time. 1,034 yards, 5.5 per carry, 10 touchdowns. And he missed 6 full games. Leonard Fournette, we got a chance to see him for the first time in 2014, and we all who cover and follow college football knew about him because he was generally regarded as the best running back coming out of high school. He got some minimal carries the first 4 or 5 games. He really had his first big explosion in a significant game against Florida, against the Gators, 140 yards and a 30-27 win with 2 touchdowns for Leonard Fournette. And then, he emerged. He started to rip up everybody in the SEC for $150 plus. He ended that 2014 campaign against Notre Dame, and I marveled, as everybody else that watches college football, as he ripped up the Irish for 143 yards. He had a long touchdown run. He had a kickoff return touchdown in that game. But it became a microcosm of what LSU football's been during the Leonard Fournette era. Fournette was fabulous. He was spectacular. LSU lost to a quality opponent and finished the season at 8-5. The next year, Leonard Fournette racked up 3 consecutive 200-yard games. He pummeled everyone. Really, the Auburn game turned out to be his statement game for what was his most serious and significant Heisman candidacy in 2015 as he threw off defenders. He had an NFL-type offensive line, was never supported by the passing game that he needed to have a significant career from a win-loss and championship perspective. I will never discount Leonard Fournette's talent or what he accomplished as an individual. But what was LSU? 8-5, lost the Music City Bowl in 2014. 9-3 the next season when they started in the top 5 in the nation, rose to number 1. And then, of course, Fournette couldn't get past the line of scrimmage on 18 or 19 carries against Alabama for 31 yards. But against Texas Tech, the likes of Texas Tech, 212 yards and 5 touchdowns in the Texas Bowl. They finished 9-3. Then this year, 7-4. Added up in Leonard Fournette's career, LSU went 24-12. They didn't win a division championship. They didn't play in a significant, meaningful game down the stretch. The furthest they got in that process was meeting Alabama with something on the line, but they could never get past the Tide and lost to a number of other teams. It just wasn't Alabama. 3 losses to Alabama, 9 losses to other teams. So Leonard Fournette's career, in terms of championships, a bit of a waste, and that's why I call it expectation, because we were always expecting throughout Leonard Fournette's career what LSU was about to do, what they should do because of all the talent collected in Baton Rouge. What is LSU going to do? What are they going to do this season? We've got them ranked in the top 5. They're loaded with all this talent. Can the quarterback situation be mended with Brandon Harris or Anthony Jennings or somebody else? And it never happened. And so really non-significant games for Fournette and company in November. But 800-plus yards as a freshman and 8 touchdowns in the one spectacular season as a sophomore, almost 2,000 yards, 1953, 22 touchdowns, and it goes beyond the numbers. It's watching the kid play, and hopefully, and he's a man, not a kid, he will get his shot to show what he can do with the NFL, and hopefully the ankle injury will not hound him for the rest of his career. Because of the likes of Todd Gurley having a solid rookie year in the NFL, Zeke Elliott this year, Melvin Gordon in his second year, running backs are starting to again gain some value and attention in the NFL draft, and therefore Leonard Fournette should be, if the ankle checks out, a top 10 to 15 NFL draft player come this spring. Would like to hear from LSU fans about the mixed emotions, I'm sure, when it comes to the career of Leonard Fournette. The jaw-dropping highlights, the staggering numbers, but the insignificant games in which he played in because of losing 12 games in 3 years. Let's talk about it right here on Mark Rogers TV.